Top of the morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the coaches out there. Hearty and healthy Irish hello. Dermot here with your Friday rant on Friday. Imagine that, Dermot. A Friday rant on Friday. I was listening to a bunch of interviews this morning, and one of the things that the coach was talking about was genius and how he meets people, clients, and he tries to see the genius in them. He helps them to see the genius. And I thought, wow, I never thought about coaching in that way, but I sat and thought about it. And I thought, now this would be a really great thing to share with the coaches. So here's your Friday rant. When you have clients, one of the things that they do not have, and it doesn't matter whether they're paid or not paid, doesn't matter. They're human beings. They have desires, they have dreams, they have fears, they have wants, they have wishes. If you can start to ask yourself the question, where do I see the genius in this person? Where do I see the genius in myself? How can I use the genius that I have inside to build my coaching practice? How can I help this client see their genius so that they can create what they want? I'm going to ask you to play with those questions today, because clients have lots of people in their lives that give them advice, tell them what to do, give them a pat in the back, oh, you're all right. They have people in their lives that are there for them, but they don't see the genius in them. They don't see that spark, that light, that fire of creativity that's burning just below the surface. The genius spark. And we as coaches, we get to fan that flame. And in some ways, we get to light that fire for people. And then over the time of the contract or however long we're working with them, we get to fan that fire, fan that flame so that it becomes a fire. Every fire needs a spark, as Bruce says. Well, you can be that spark for the client. You can be that spark that lights their genius. So instead of looking at the clients of, okay, what's the problem? I got another client with a problem that needs fixing. Clients don't need you to fix their problems. They have plenty of people, colleagues, friends, family that will fix their problems and not help them to, but tell them how to do it. We want to be the spark behind the fire. We want to help clients to fan the flames of possibility. We want to be able to take someone who doesn't know how to surf the wave of life and teach him how to surf the big waves and the little waves and the big waves and the little waves. We want to be, as coaches, people that hold our clients to a different level. We want to be, as coaches, people who hold ourselves, our integrity, our values, our love, our compassion, our patience, our listening at a whole different level, on a higher standard. We want to be coaches that sit down with another human being, not a target audience, hunting for clients. Sounds very safari-esque, We want to be the type of coaches that sit down with another human being and say, and don't even have to tell the client, but you hold a space, a sacred space for 60 minutes or however long it is. And this space is for that client, not to get advice, not to be told what to do, not to be sermonized to, but a place where they can listen and you can see the genius within them, even when they can't see it. Clients say to me, Dermot, I just can't trust myself to do that or to see that or to know that. And I say, trust me, I see it for you. And you can lean on me until you start to see it for yourself. So we as coaches, we want to hold ourselves to a different standard. We want to be able to hold our clients to a different standard, to tell them BS when they're not living up to their potential. We want to call BS when they're not holding themselves to the standard that they want to hold themselves to. We want to call BS when they're not living the life that they told us they want to create. We hold them accountable when they don't do the action steps that they want to do. And that doesn't mean that we take out a stick and we start beating them, tar and feathering, bring it back. But checking in, hey, John, I noticed you're not doing the action steps that you said you wanted to create. And part of my job as a coach is not to judge, but to support you in accountability. What's going on? Why are those things not happening? Got a great question for you. Ask a client. Where are you more extraordinary than you know? But before you ask a client it, ask yourself it. Where am I more extraordinary than I know? When have I shown up when I thought I couldn't? When have I done something that I thought I couldn't? When have I moved through fear when I was feeling it? When have I said something that I was really afraid to say? When have I created something when I thought I could never do that? You see, we need to be able to, and not clearly, but we need to be open and willing to see the genius in ourselves, and we need to be open and willing to see that in another. Because if you don't see it in yourself, you will not see it in another. Very hard to. Again, you don't need to see the genius clearly, but just be willing to see a spark of that in yourself. Where in your life does your genius show up? Where in your life do you see your genius at play? Where in your life do you see your genius operating? Where in your life has your genius shown up for you? And how can you use that genius to create a prosperous, a successful coaching business? We all have genius. I don't care who you are or what background you came from. I came from the most dysfunctional, alcoholic background you could possibly imagine. And I still was able to create a great life for myself. And I lived in victim for a long time. Up to my 30s, I played the victim card. I'm a victim of alcoholism. Take pity on me. Tell me what to do with my life. Help me because I can't do it for myself. That's how I lived my life up till 30s. And then the whole thing just fell apart. And it was then that I started actually taking full responsibility for my life. What would it look like for you to take full responsibility for your genius? What would it look like for you to take 5% responsibility? Let's make it more doable. What would it take? This is a great question. I'm not saying it because I just thought of it, but it's a good question. What would it look like for you to take 5% more responsibility of your genius? That's a great question. Ask your clients it. Hey, John, what would it look like? What would it be like? What would it feel like? Any of those, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. what would it feel like for you to take 5% more responsibility for your creativity, for your innate creativity, for your innate genius, for your innate wisdom, for your innate intelligence, for your innate confidence, for your innate strength? What would it be like? And the second part of that question is, what would be possible for you if you took 5% more responsibility for your life, for your genius, for your creativity, for your relationships? What would it be like? What would be possible for you? Now, I know there are a lot of questions, but some great questions in there. I would highly encourage you to take one of those questions, play this back a few times, because I don't remember the questions, and write one of them down, and just get a book and just write some answers to one of those questions. What would it be like if you took 5% more responsibility for your life? That's a good question. That's a question I would put in my back pocket and I would ask your clients for. Anyway, you'll be listening to the Friday Rant on Friday. Yes, Durbin actually got the Friday Rant on Friday. Usually I do the Friday Rant on Mondays because I'm just too tired of Fridays. I do a lot on Fridays. But today's the Friday Rant on Friday. Coach's Corner, Coach's Cafe, the next one coming up is November 25th at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about how to create easy, respectful referrals. I know for a lot of people, referrals is like a horrible word. It was for me. But I'm going to teach you a really, really easy way to build your business, create clients through referrals. You're going to love it. I'll put a link down the bottom for the sign-up sheet for the Coaches Cafe. And I hope to see you there, everyone. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a coach. The world needs you. The world needs you, coaches. So show up and coach.